Take a ride on my Trans Am, hammer down, cruise around, rock this town on my Trans Am. Everybody wants to ride, everybody wants to ride. Girl, you know you want to ride, take a ride on my Trans Am.
Hi everybody, welcome back. You may know that I've been wanting to build a blue Trans Am for a while, and Michaels had just started selling the Smokey and the Bandit Revell Trans Am kit again, so I picked one up, and this is the build video for my blue Trans Am. I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of detail in this kit, which I took advantage of by detail painting. I've done the chassis and the interior in black Stynylrez res with a flat matte finish on the chassis underneath and the satin finish on the interior parts, the seats and the interior panels and dash and so forth. I'll do some detail painting on the door panels and the dash. Blacked out part of the roof there for the interior of the T-roof, and got the wheel backs a little bit rusty looking, and the rear tail lights they were clear, so I painted them flat black and then some silver paint on top of that, and then the translucent red paint for the tail light lenses, the Tamiya translucent red. And the seen before, the rear springs, axle, and the exhaust system has been weathered and rusted a little bit. I painted the body with the Deco Art Metallic Ice Blue. It's got the metal flake in it. It's the craft acrylics. So I got the hood scoop, the mirrors, front bumper, hood, and the main body in that. I also wanted to do the body color on the interior engine compartment, on the inner fender wells. So I taped this part off here, and the battery and the washer fluid jug, and sprayed the body color on the inner fenders. As you know, I've done the interior in the Stynylrez black with a satin finish, and I've highlighted a little bit of chrome on here, and done the flat finish just on some of this center surface and on the parcel deck on the back. Also on the rear, on the underneath part, I put black Stynylrez primer on the inner fender wells at the beginning of the transmission tunnel, and there's a couple of spots here that are going to show through when the chassis goes on. So just that those are covered when it's fitted to the chassis, because that'll be visible. So I've also detail painted the dash and the steering wheel a little bit, just to put some chrome on the buttons and that, and I drilled out the steering wheel and some silver paint on the bars there and on the lever here, and also on the interior of the doors. I just trimmed them a little bit just to have a little bit of chrome detailing, and I did a flat finish on the grab bar and the armrest here, and then just touched these up with some chrome, Molotow chrome. Oh, and one more thing. I detail painted the CB radio and the scanner, some copper on top and brass on the CB radio and chrome on the buttons, and some red and green marker on the scanner buttons. The background I just painted gray, just as a contrast from the dash and the interior. I'll put a couple of pictures just so you can see it better. This kit assembles very easily. There's alignment pins on every part, and it goes together very well. I used the Firebird decal from the Revell 78 Pontiac Firebird 3-in-1 kit, which is a 1/24 scale, so it's just slightly larger. The decals added that extra detail and all went on very well. This female figure comes from the Fujimi Garage and Tools driver's kit, and the male figure comes from the MPC 75 Dodge Dart Sport kit. You can see him being painted in one of my previous videos. Here we are, just about to complete this Trans Am build. All I have to do now is slip the body onto the chassis and put the 4 screws in to hold it in place. It's a nice thing about this kit, the body just drops right on and the screws hold it. There's no fighting or twisting or shaping to get the body over the chassis. What I've done before I do that, I've installed the 2 figures, and this fella here, the driver, he's just held in place by friction of the steering wheel. And I've got both their arms are held on by this Eileen's tack it over and over, so it holds the arms, it tacks them in place, but they're still a little bit flexible. You can move them around, so it's able to stretch his hand over the gear shift and the steering wheel. The same with the girl here. I've got the microphone for the CB radio glued onto the console, and then it's just loose here in her hand. But I put a couple of drops of that Eileen's tack it over and over on her bottom, and I just to hold her to the seat. That way, if I want to take her out, I can probably just pull her out and clean it off. I've also done the same with the dashboard. I put a drop here and a drop on the other side of this stuff here, the tack it over and over, so if I want to, I can unscrew the body, lift it off, and pry out the dashboard without breaking anything. It holds it in place, but it stays tacky and gooey. So it just gives me an option if I want to take it apart again at some point and move the figures around. But for now, this is what it's going to look like, and it's just about ready to go together. And before I forgot, I added a custom-made license plate. I'm just winding up the build on this Trans Am here, and I noticed that there is no CB antenna in the kit, which I thought was kind of strange, because there's a very nice CB and a scanner included, and but there's no CB antenna. So I found one in my parts box, and I'm going to be installing that. Also, in my rush to get the chassis put together and the drivetrain on, I forgot to put the shocks on. So that's about the only things that I've missed. And I've gone around and just painted some silver paint around the window trim. So other than missing the shocks, I think everything's in place, and the antenna will be going on, and then that'll be final.
Jumping